Good morning. You're listening to Tuesday Morning Classics here on the stations of Fine Arts Radio, WMNR.
Next, something we all grew up with and love, The Pig and Suite No. 1 by Edvard Grieg.
We continue with Johann Strauss Jr.'s Die Fledermaus, performed by the Bavarian State Orchestra.
And a lot of it is just winging it, what I feel like playing that particular night. Some of it is scheduled and some of it's I'm making my mind like right now.
We've just been listening to the Piano Sonata in B-flat minor by Sergei Rachmaninoff.
We'll hear now one of Tom Jobim's most beautiful ballads. In Portuguese, it's known as Por Causa de Você.
Greetings to all good folk, because this is the time for good folk just like you.
You develop very close relationships with listeners. Probably more so with listeners than with the other broadcasters, because you don't see the other broadcasters very often.
I have some interesting news from the Yale Repertory Theater, which is presenting the world premiere of The Realistic Joneses.
We'll hear that one now, as Sir Charles Groves conducts the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic.
I remember once I was at a deli counter where I could choose some sandwiches, and I was talking to my son, picking out one. And somebody was also looking at the sandwiches at the health food store, turned his head and said, "I know your voice. I know who you are."
It's very pleasant to know that somebody's listening at the crack of dawn, and even more pleasant to know that somebody's enjoying listening.
And tonight's theme is jazz trios in particular.
We open the program this evening with music of Franz van Suppe.
Tonight, a tribute to everyone's favorite part of speech, the preposition.
And tonight, have I got a show for you? We are going to be taking a look at girl groups.
I get off the air at 6 o'clock. I'm exhausted, but I'm also exuberantly up and happy to start a Saturday night. Not a bad thing.
There's an aria by Mozart coming up next, but first, this brief announcement.
Hi, welcome to WMNR. Come on in and we'll show you around. This cartoon that one of our previous broadcasters did. We kind of like to have a sense of humor around here. Brains behind our success. This poster actually was a premium during an earlier pledge week. All the equipment is here. We actually know how many people are listening. And down the hall is our production studio. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Jane. Good afternoon, Jane.
This is what we call Studio A. We have our French horn. And now we'll go into Master Control. Hello, Peter. Can we come to visit?
Of course you can.
And Peter Shimkin is here, broadcasting this afternoon. This library is amazing. It has now over about 15,000 CDs in classical music. I don't know that you really want to see Parker's office. Diane Orlando and Parker Proud have offices downstairs, and Diane is in the membership department, so if you have a question about membership, she's...
And there's the phone.
Yes.
Slowly with a question.
Good afternoon, WMNR.
Back in the early 70s, with my wife Carol, we decided to start a radio station in Monroe, and it went on the air in November of 1973.
It was basically a community station at that point in time.
And then later on we moved to what most folks know as the All Classics format.
That's when things kind of got very defined as to what it is today, the WMNR that you know today.
I've been fortunate to be here for 29 and a half years and part of an amazing group of people. As general manager, I am a symbolic representative of all the broadcasters, but when people say, "Oh, I love your station," they don't mean my station. They don't mean the 2 hours a week that I'm on the air. They mean many of the broadcasters that were fortunate enough to have graced our airwaves.
And we'll have works by Al Benoni, and we'll begin with a Bourrée and a Papageno.
And first off,
something by a composer named Johann Baptist van Hal.
The work premiered in Vienna on the 4th of December, the year 1786. The music of Mozart.
Musically speaking, the time of the String Quartet No. 2 was the beginning of the end for Alexander Borodin.
I'm Delphine Marcus. I've been with you since 10 o'clock this morning, and I thank you for keeping me such good company. Have a lovely evening, won't you? Do keep it safe.
I was born into music. My mother was a pianist and a music teacher, piano teacher. So the piano is something I heard before I was even born.
I did. I played piano for a brief time. As I said, musician is not what I do.
I took piano lessons from my grandmother, and foolishly I gave that up as a teenager because I had to express my rebellious streak and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I started piano lessons about 3 weeks ago. No, I started when I was a kid, the typical story.
Well, it all started when I was about 8 years old. I've played since then alto sax, clarinet, tenor sax, bass clarinet.
I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist. I paint. So that's how I express myself. But I started painting on the weekends listening to MNR.
I did in high school, but no. Trumpet.
I play the piano. Not as much as I used to, I would say. It's been a while, but I was a music major, and I played French horn, not well. Well, you hold it like this. You have to, otherwise it won't balance. And then when it fills up with spit, you have to go.
Yes, I would love to hum a few bars of Sweeney Todd. I feel you, Joanna. I want you. Or something like that. But anyway.
A Schumann song. Wenn ich in deine Augen sieh, so schwindt mein Herz wie.
One word? Oh, if I have to say WMNR in one word, it's unique.
Family.
Personal.
Multifaceted.
Music.
Eclectic. You never know what you're going to hear.
I think it's easy. It's a family.
Family.
Diverse.
WMNR is a gem.
Oasis. A lot of our listeners call it an oasis.
Amateur. And I mean that because in the truest sense, that an amateur is someone who does something for the love of it.
Classic.
Exceptional.
Heavenly. And I would say the reason I chose that word is that where I used to live and still live near is the town of New Canaan, Connecticut. And their railroad station, which is at the end of a spur, is called the Station Next to Heaven. And after I experienced working and broadcasting at MNR, I wrote a letter to the New Canaan newspaper and said, that's not true about what you say about your train station. WMNR is the station that's next to heaven.
Mellifluous. I practiced that.
WMNR in one word is awfully hard to do, but I'll just use a 3-letter word. Fun.